Hello friends, welcome. So in the previous video we worked with the XBind. In this video we are going to work with the XModel. And what is the XModel in AlpineJS? XModel is a directive that allows you to create two-way data bindings between form inputs and your application's data. So if you have used the view model with Vue.js, is similar to the view model. Now, using the XModel, you can bind the value of a form input to a property in your data object, and any changes to the input will automatically update the corresponding property and vice versa. So here we have the input for the previous video, but we don't see this is an input. And this is because we need to install a plugin for the Tailwind CSS, but we added the Tailwind CSS through the CDN, and also we can add through the CDN the plugin. So if you go to the Tailwind CSS installation and play the CDN here, in the previous one we added this line of code, but because we need also the plugin, if you scroll down here we have try using a first-party plugin, and we can choose this one here. So also we have plugins for forms, typography, and so on. So let's copy this and let's navigate in the VS Code, and here on the head now replace this CDN with that one, and let's save, and let's close also now the head here, and let's move, and let's see now if we can see. Here we see now this is an input. Okay. Let's start and work with the XModel now. I'm going to remove this and start from scratch. Let's create a div, and we are going to add here the XData, which is going to be equal with double quotes and a single object. And here I'm going to define a message data, which initially is going to be, let's say, hello world again. And let's close this one, and inside now I'm going to add an input, and let's say this input is going to be type text. Okay, and I'm going to use now the XModel here. XModel equal with the message data we have here. So let's copy and paste here the message property of our data, and let's close. Now, if I save as it is, here the message is hello world, and in the input we can see hello world. So let's see that. Open, yeah. If we add here, let's add a paragraph, and I'm going to use the xtext to display the message. So xtext equal with the message, and let's give it some classes to this one. So class to be margin 2 and padding 2, and I'm going to say also bg to be slate 200. Okay, let's close now this paragraph and let's save. And yeah, here we have also hello world on the paragraph. Now if we make changes here, it's going to update. So let's see, remove that. If we type something, okay. So we can see now in this code here, we're using the XModel to bind the value of the input element to the message property in our data object. We also output in the value of a message in a paragraph. We're using the element in the paragraph element using the xtext. And now whenever the user type in the input field, the message property will be updated as we saw, and the corresponding text in the paragraph element will be updated in real time. Similarly, if we update the message property in our data object, so if we update this one, let's say something like this, also it's going to update here. Yeah. Okay. Now you can use the XModel with many different types of form inputs, including checkboxes, radio buttons, and select elements. In each case, the value of the input will be automatically bound to the corresponding property in your data object. And let's create another example here. I'm going to add a div, and let's say a class to be max with MD, and also I'm going to say MX auto, and maybe space Y to be true. Here I'm going to add the X data to be equal with double quotes an object, and I'm going to define the my color property, which is going to be initially to be gray, like this. And let's close this one now. And here I'm going to add a div. Let's say div here, which is going to have some classes. So I'm going to add class width of 24 and age of 24. And also I'm going to say rounded. And then I'm going to bind the class. We learned how we can bind the class, but in this I'm going to bind the class like this. I'm going to add bg minus, and I'm going to concatenate that with the my color, and also plus, so it's going to be bg dash my color, which is gray in this case, bg dash gray, and also dash 500 I'm going to say. Okay, and let's close this. Yeah, we need to say not gray like this, but gray like this. Save, and yeah, here is the gray color or a div. Now let's add here a select input. I'm going to select, and I'm going to use the X model here, which is going to be equal with the my color. So let's copy that and paste it here. And now I'm going to add options. So let's say option with the value. The value is going to be, the first one is going to be gray, and I'm going to say gray here, and let's copy and paste 3 or 4 times and change here. So for example, green, and also we need to change here to be green. And to this one I'm going to say blue, and also the value is going to be blue. And the last one, let's make it red, and here I'm going to say red. And let's save. Come here we have the select input. Now by default is gray. If I change the color here, is going to update this one because we have used the X model my color, and also we bind the class here to use the my color. So if this is gray, and if I change the green, we updated that, red, blue, sorry, and red. Okay friends, I hope you enjoy. This is about this video, how we can use the X model with AlpineJS for the two-way data bindings. I hope you enjoy, and if you like, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like the video, and see you in the other videos. All the best, friends.